I knew marrying an alien princess would be different. I just didn't think it would involve assignments. Apparently, watching a few human videos from ancient Earth gave her a complete education in human courtship. Except, she was using a pirated alien translation algorithm that thought Netflix and chill was a mandatory bonding ritual, booty calls were declarations of interstellar war, and binge watching translated to ritualistic endurance trials. She approached me that morning with a datapad in one hand and ceremonial oil in the other. "We begin now," she said, with the dead serious tone of someone initiating a religious rite. "The sacred 6 acts of Earth love. Step 1, Netflix and chill." I told her it was just a casual movie night. Her eyes glowed. "Perfect. I have prepared the ceremonial chamber." That chamber turned out to be a heavily cushioned room with gravity-neutral zones and mood lighting that pulsed like a nightclub having a panic attack. I set up a film, something light, funny, classic Earth. She nodded solemnly, poured herself over me with all 4 arms, and whispered, "Begin the chill." I thought that meant relaxing. It didn't. 5 minutes in, she starts unfastening my clothes. I panicked and paused the movie. She gasped, "You interrupted the ritual?" She thought pausing was a sign of dominance. I just needed a minute. Or maybe 2. Or 5. She didn't wait. Later, as I lay sprawled across 3 cushions, she straddled me like I was a trophy hunt and said, "1 complete." That was chill. I now understand Earth initiation. I wasn't sure what she understood, but my legs were still shaking. She opened the datapad again. "Next, we proceed to the second rite. But first, your body must recalibrate." I tried to explain that Earth customs are mostly symbolic. She stared at me, deadpan. "Then why does your media emphasize physicality?" "I have seen the rituals." Repeatedly. From multiple angles. In slow motion. It didn't help that the media she'd studied was 30% sitcoms, 70% outdated romance reality shows, and 100% misinterpreted. She brought in a horned servant who handed her a scroll. She read it aloud like it was scripture. "Booty call, urgent summon for a mating exchange, usually accompanied by intoxication and regret. This is clearly a formal engagement. Where is your horn?" I told her we didn't actually use horns for that. She frowned, clearly disappointed in my species' lack of ceremonial flair. Still, she adapted. She pulled out a war horn, blasted it through the entire palace, and summoned 10 armed guards. I was mid-bite of a granola bar when they stormed in. "Escort the human to the Chamber of Comfort," she ordered. They carried me off like I was royalty, or a suspect. It was hard to tell. I asked if this was normal. One of the guards responded, "It is our honor to prepare the champion for the second act." I wasn't a champion. I was barely awake. But I was starting to understand something. She wasn't just passionate, she was an overachiever. And this wasn't just romance, it was a checklist. Later that day, while I lay half-conscious in what I assumed was a royal cuddle puddle, she leaned over me with a grin that could break tectonic plates and whispered, "You are doing very well. Most species cannot even survive 2 of the 6. I didn't like how she emphasized the word survive. I told her I might need a break. She looked genuinely confused. "But you are human. Your endurance is legendary. You invented the phrase go all night, did you not?" Somewhere in the stars, an alien data analyst was getting fired. She showed me her datapad again. "You see, each act is sacred. Each rooted in your rich Earth traditions." She scrolled past terms like smash, grind, and something called the reverse pizza toss. I didn't even ask. I was afraid she'd try to interpret it literally. "You have completed number 1, she said proudly. "I am extremely satisfied. I feel the bonding hormones surging through my dorsal clusters." I didn't know what that meant, but it sounded sticky. I asked what the rest of the list included. She smiled, eyes gleaming. "Oh, we are just beginning. Tomorrow, the dance of the pole." I blinked. She showed me an image of a pole dancer, poorly rendered from a grainy music video. It is clear, Earth males perform ceremonial spins to attract mates. I have already constructed the pole. I didn't know what was more disturbing, that she thought stripping was a sacred rite, or that she'd installed a rotating pole in the zero-G atrium without telling me. She stroked my hair, lovingly. You are tired, human. But this is only number 1. Tomorrow is number 2. She leaned in closer. Her breath was warm and sweet. And then number 3. Number 4. She listed them like holiday celebrations. I nearly passed out from anxiety, and also because I hadn't had water in hours. As she left the room, humming a warrior's lullaby, I stared at the ceiling and whispered the most human prayer I could manage. Please let her be joking. She wasn't. And number 2 involved a pole. I woke up sore in places I didn't know could be sore. Somewhere between the chill and the summoned guards, I had accepted my fate. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared me for what she called the dance of the pole. She had built it. A 12-foot-tall chrome monstrosity spinning freely inside the palace's gravity-flex chamber. She stood beneath it, arms folded, proud like she'd forged a legendary sword. This is your mating dance structure, she announced. Earth males seduce their partners by spinning sensually around it while music plays. This is widely known. I told her it was more performance art. She nodded. Yes. Perform. Art. Begin. She handed me an outfit. It had more holes than fabric. Apparently, it was traditional garb based on her research. I told her that wasn't standard. She replied. But your media is clear. This is what is worn during pole-based displays of courtship. Your skin must breathe. I stood in front of that pole, wearing alien glitter and something that barely qualified as shorts, wondering how the hell my species had survived this long. She activated the music. It was a distorted version of Pony by Genuine, slowed down and layered with throat singing. The rhythm was all wrong. The gravity was worse. I grabbed the pole, tried to swing, and launched myself 3 meters sideways. She gasped, clapping all 4 hands. Incredible! So unpredictable! I ricocheted off a wall, landed upside down, and groaned. She mistook my pain for effort. Yes, yes! Show me the drop-it-low technique! I tried to explain that pole dancing isn't typically part of romance. She disagreed entirely. Earth females do this to attract mates. Therefore, Earth males must do it twice as hard to assert dominance. I tried to resist, but she was beaming with excitement and shouting dance terms like they were military commands. Now twerk! Now invert! Now split! I reminded her that humans are made of bones. She grinned. And yet you bend so well. Your suffering is beautiful. I was mid-spin when the palace door opened, and in walked her mother. A towering, regal being with crystalline horns and an expression that could curdle steel. I froze. Literally stopped spinning midair thanks to a well-timed gravity shift. Vena turned to her and said, Look, mother! He is performing the second rite. Her mother gave me a slow, measuring look. He spins adequately, she said. He may yet be worthy of pollination. I didn't like that word. It made me feel like a flower. An exhausted, dying flower. I crashed to the floor, gasping, tangled in silk and self-loathing. Vena rushed over, lifted me up like a prize, and whispered, You completed it. That was number 2. I told her I might never walk again. She beamed. Then your legs are finally limbered. Good. Number 3 will require lunges. I asked for a rest day. She tilted her head confused. Is that a ritual? I said it was sacred. She scribbled something down. Earth Rite 7 rest day. I will save it for after number 6. She brought me water. It was blue and fizzed like battery acid. Electrolytes, she said. They will prepare you for the offering of the 6-pack. I didn't even want to ask. Instead, I lay there, questioning every life choice that led to me being a pole-dancing human husband to an 8-foot-tall alien princess with an obsession for misunderstood internet culture. A servant entered, bowed, and handed her a data crystal. She nodded seriously, then turned to me. Your performance was acceptable. It is archived now for educational review. I asked who would be watching it. She said, my siblings. They must know what to expect when they secure their own humans. I tried to protest. She stopped me with a kiss and said, you are pioneering Earth-love diplomacy. A role of honor. It was less diplomacy and more full-body whiplash. She carried me bridal-style to our resting chamber, laid me on a cushioned slab, and whispered, only 4 rights remain. I groaned. She smiled. Don't worry. I will assist you with the splits next time. We will start with gentle tearing. I reminded her, again, that human limbs don't regenerate. She looked mildly disappointed. Before I blacked out, she tucked me in and kissed my forehead like I was a child who just won a dance recital and not a grown man who had just nearly died of sexy acrobatics and low gravity. She whispered, you are progressing wonderfully, my husband. I believe you were made for this. I couldn't argue. Mostly because I'd lost the ability to speak coherent words. My last conscious thought before slipping into unconsciousness was, please don't let number 3 involve another pole. Spoiler, it didn't. It involved a 6-pack. But not the kind I thought. When I heard 6-pack, I got hopeful. I thought maybe, just maybe, it was finally something I could handle. A cold drink. A quiet moment. But of course not. According to Vena's Earth Cultural Archive, which I've now confirmed was compiled entirely from Jim's selfies and parenting blogs, the sacred 6-pack is not about alcohol. It's about reproduction. Specifically, providing 6 offspring as proof of devotion and masculinity. I told her humans don't have litters. She stared at me like I'd confessed to not having blood. But Earth warriors all possess 6 abdominal segments. This is to support the rapid birthing process, yes? I laughed. She didn't. That was her serious face. She dragged me into what she called the fertility preparation chamber. It looked like a spa collided with a science lab. Cradles. Incubators. Weird glowing orbs. I asked where the drinks were. She handed me a nutritional gel pack labeled Fertility Boost, Citrus Burn Flavor. Then she revealed 6 names she'd already picked out. 2 from your culture, she said, and 4 from mine. Balance is important. I was still struggling with the citrus burn when she pulled out a scroll and started chanting. I asked what she was doing. Blessing the future, she said, and preparing for number 4. I begged for clarification. She turned her datapad to me, showing a pixelated meme of a dad with 6 kids. This is Earth's expectation of masculinity, she said proudly. Large family. Sleepless nights. Visible abdominal definition. I pointed out that I had none of those things. She said, yet. She wasn't kidding. She had already constructed something called the seed extraction throne. I didn't sit voluntarily. It adjusted around me like a hungry machine. This is to simulate optimal conditions, she explained. Warmth, pressure, and emotional stimulation. Begin your Earth song. I asked what song. She activated a playlist titled Earth Dad Energy, which started with Kenny Loggins and ended with baby cries on loop. Somewhere in the middle, she was doing a fertility dance involving feathers and what I think were glow sticks. I couldn't take it anymore. I broke down and admitted that human children don't come from abdominal workouts or chanting. I explained the entire human reproductive process, from awkward dating to accidental pregnancy to college debt. She was silent for a long time. Then she whispered, So, you do not control the output? No. Definitely not. She looked disappointed. Then intrigued. So your species gambles with reproduction? I said yes. She clapped. That is very warrior-like. I was about to argue when she started aggressively cuddling me and muttering about initiating random chance protocol. I escaped the throne by pretending to feel faint, which wasn't hard because I genuinely was. She let me rest, then declared that since I wasn't ready for the six-pack, we'd proceed to the next act. Number 4. She called it. The slap. I said no. She insisted. Apparently, a brief glimpse at ancient Earth's slap contests convinced her that slapping was part of human arousal. She showed me an old viral video of two men slapping each other until one passed out. This is how you show interest, she said. Through controlled violence. I tried to tell her that wasn't romantic. She didn't care. She stood tall, narrowed her eyes, and said, "Prepare yourself, mate." She slapped me. Open palm. Full strength. My soul nearly left my body. I staggered, dazed. She looked thrilled. "Oh. You flushed? This is good. That means the bonding chemicals are activated." I couldn't even speak. She slapped me again. "Yes. More bonding." I ducked. She thought it was a mating dance flourish. I ran. She pursued. It turned into a bizarre chase around the palace with alien servants politely stepping aside as their princess tried to slap her husband into arousal. Eventually, I locked myself in a storage closet and shouted through the door that this wasn't a real tradition. She was confused. "But it was in your public rituals. Many Earthlings slap each other for love. You watched Jerry Springer, Vena." She paused. "So, not instructional?" "No." There was silence. Then she whispered, "But you slapped my heart with your presence. Emotionally." I told her that didn't make sense. She said, "Neither does a six-pack made of children, and yet here we are." She called off the chase and declared number 4 complete. "You reacted with great passion," she said. "And sweat. Your scent changed." I said that was fear. She scribbled more notes. By the time she mentioned number 5, I was already bracing for pain. She described it as public display of aggressive affection. I asked her what that meant. She said, "Earthlings touch each other wildly in public to show dominance over rivals. I saw it on multiple surveillance videos of places called nightclubs." I told her that wasn't accurate. She already had me by the collar. Before I knew it, I was in a public corridor of the palace, surrounded by dignitaries, while she clung to me with all 4 limbs, licking my face and growling possessively. The council elder passed by, bowed slightly, and said, "Ah. Earth mating customs. So bold. So territorial." I tried to apologize. Vena was still nuzzling me like a territorial space panther. I said, "This isn't how we do things." She growled louder. "Then how will they know you're mine?" The ambassador took notes. She finished the display by kissing me upside down against a pillar, while several guards clapped. I was barely conscious. She whispered, "5 complete. 1 more to go." I begged her to slow down. She looked at me, concerned. "Are you malfunctioning?" "No, just exhausted." Her smile returned. "Perfect. That means you're ready for number 6.